It's my pleasure today to be reading to you from an original edition of a very special 200-year-old book called The Magus by Joseph Barrett. The Magus, or Celestial Intelligencer, being a complete system of occult philosophy. Knight and Compton Publishers, Middle Street, Cloth Fair. Francis Barrett, student in chemistry, metaphysics, natural and occult philosophy, and company. The Magus, or Celestial Intelligencer, being a complete system of occult philosophy, in 3 books, containing the ancient and modern practice of the Kabbalistic art, natural and celestial magic, showing the wonderful effects that may be performed by a knowledge of the celestial influences and the occult properties of metals, herbs, and stones, and the application of active to passive principles, exhibiting the sciences of natural magic, alchemy, or hermetic philosophy, also the nature, creation, and fall of man, his natural and supernatural gifts, the magical power inherent in the soul, and company, with a great variety of rare experiments in natural magic, the constellatory practice, or talismanic magic, the nature of the elements, stars, planets, signs, and company, the construction and composition of all sorts of magical seals, images, rings, glasses, and company, the virtue and efficacy of numbers, characters, and figures of good and evil spirits, magnetism, and Kabbalistical or ceremonial magic, in which the secret mysteries of the Cabala are explained, the operations of good and evil spirits, all kinds of Kabbalistic figures, tables, seals, and names with their uses and company, the times, bonds, offices, and conjuration of spirits, to which is added Biographia Antiqua, or the lives of the most eminent philosophers, magi, and company, the whole illustrated with a great variety of curious engravings, magical and Kabbalistic figures, and company, by Francis Barrett, F.R.C., Professor of Chemistry, Natural and Occult Philosophy, the Cabala, and company, London, printed for Lackington, Allen and Company, Temple of the Muses, Finsbury Square, 1801. Preface. In this work, which we have written chiefly for the information of those who are curious and insatiable in their inquiries into occult knowledge, we have, at a vast labor and expense, both of time and charges, collected whatsoever can be deemed curious and rare in regard to the subject of our speculations in natural magic, the Cabala, celestial and ceremonial magic, alchemy, and magnetism, and have divided it into 2 books, subdivided into parts, to which we have added a 3rd book, containing a biographical account of the lives of those great men who were famous and renowned for their knowledge, showing upon whose authority this science of magic is founded, and upon what principles, to which we have annexed a great variety of notes, wherein we have impartially examined the probability of the existence of magic, both of the good and bad species, in the earliest, as well as in the latter, ages of the world. We have exhibited a vast number of rare experiments in the course of this treatise, many of which, delivered in the beginning, are founded upon the simple application of actives to passives. The others are of a higher speculation. In our history of the lives of philosophers and company, we have omitted nothing that can be called interesting or satisfactory. We have taken our historical characters from those authors most deserving of credit. We have given an outline of the various reports tradition gives of them, to which are annexed notes, drawn from the most probable appearance of truth, impartially describing their characters and actions, leaning neither to the side of those who doubt everything, nor to them whose credulity takes in every report to be circumstantially true. At this time, the abstruse sciences of nature begin to be more investigated than for a century past, during which space they have been almost totally neglected. But men becoming more enlightened, they begin to consider the extraordinary effects that were wrought by ancient philosophers in ages that were called dark. Many, therefore, have thought that time, nature, causes and effects being the same, with the additional improvements of mechanical and liberal arts, we may, with their knowledge of nature, surpass them in the producing of wonderful effects, for which cause many men are naturally impelled, without education or other advantage, to dive into the contemplation of nature. But the study thereof being at first difficult, they have recourse to lay out a great deal of money in collecting various books, to remedy which inconvenience and expense the author undertook to compose the magus, presuming that his labors herein will meet with the general approbation of either the novitiate or adept, for whose use and instruction it is now published. But to return to the subject of our book, we have, in the first part, fully explained what natural magic is, and have shown that, by the application of actives to passives, many wonderful effects are produced that are merely natural and done by manual operations. We have procured everything that was valuable and scarce respecting this department of our work, which we have introduced under the title of Natural Magic, and a variety of our own experiments likewise. In the possession of this work, the laborious and diligent student will find a complete and delectable companion, so that he who has been searching for years for this author and the other will in this book find the marrow of them all. But I would advise that we do not depend too much upon our own wisdom in the understanding of these mysteries, for all earthly wisdom is foolishness in the esteem of God. I mean all the wisdom of man, which he pretends to draw from any other source than God alone. We come next to the second part of our first book, treating of the art called the constellatory practice, or talismanic magic, in which we fully demonstrate the power and efficacy of talismans, so much talked of and so little understood by most men. We therefore explain in the clearest and most intelligible manner how talismans may be made.